Well, that was bullshit. Hi, y'all. So today did not end up at all like I had planned. The plan was that I would take you out and take a gander at the Rio Grande because it's been raining lately here in Albuquerque, and not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that after a rain, the Rio Grande tends to fill up and it gets to be kind of raging at times, and I thought it would be cool to see our once proud river that you're used to seeing in the movies, once again engorged with water. And so I thought that would be a cool idea. So anyway, I was in a bit of a conundrum, so what do I want to do? Do I want to go on a ride? Do I want to go on a run? What do I want to do? And it turned out that because I do have a few cardio minutes I have to get in because the wellness overlords at my particular place of employment actually watch that stuff. So I was like, well, okay, let's go on a ride, thinking that, it's been raining, so I'm going to take my road bike out, and it's a little bit of a ways away. So I'm going to take the road bike, I'm going to stick to the paved trails to avoid the mud, blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, that's what I decided to do. I got all dressed up. I had my jersey on, I had my bike shorts, I had my helmet, glasses. I was all ready to go. And I stepped outside and I was like, what the heck? The sky was dark. It was ominous. And so I'm like, is this still going to rain? Are we not done with the rain? I came in and I did my due diligence. I got an AccuWeather. And I looked at it, it said, all day, 0% chance of precipitation. And then I got onto the radar, and I saw this monsoon-looking blob that looked like it was probably 10, 20 miles out. And I was like, I think I'll make it. We'll go ahead and deal with that. But I was still a little bit confused by the 0% precipitation throughout the day. So that little scale didn't make sense with what I was looking at and what the radar was saying. So anyway, I decided to go ahead and head on out, and I thought I'd give you updates along the way, and then we'd get down to the river and we'd see how it was doing. But anyway, I got down about a mile from the house, and little droplets of rain were just all over my face. And so I said, wow, this is not what was predicted. And so I decided to go on further, and I went on further, and the drizzle started to get a little worse. And so I decided, well, no, I need to start heading back. My goal was maybe if I got stuck in rain, maybe I could just, find a shelter and wait it out, but no, it was just already at that point, it was just so bad. So I decided to turn around. So I got back, and about another half mile into it, I just got dumped on. I mean, it was just bad. And, I know there's people in other countries that are probably, like, you had to get stuck in rain, and it's like, but, this is the desert. We don't get a lot of that here. I wasn't really prepared for it. And as far as the blogging community went, it was not an atmosphere that was very conducive to what I thought would be friendly with my electronics. So I decided, all right, so I headed back, and I had to stop several times to wrap things up and put them into different, components and cases and, wrappings and stuff. And so I decided to get back, and I was like, well, shoot, what am I gonna vlog on? And so I decided, why don't I vlog on the bike, because you haven't seen it before. And the bike that I took out was a build that I did quite a while ago, a couple of years ago. I found this Trek Madone 4 series frame on wicked clearance at Trek Bicycle Superstore in Albuquerque. and it was only like $400, you know, for a full carbon fiber, much less a Trek. I mean, I was like, that's a steal, you know, that's a no-brainer. So I decided at that point, you know, every thought that I had about learning a little bit about bicycle mechanics and, you know, learning to maintain and build out a bicycle, you know, that all those questions and, you know, of whether or not I should do that were just answered at that point. I said, well, there's my test bed. That's what I'm going to do. And so that was my first foray into the bike building realm. And so I decided at that point I was going to research and check out all these components and, you know, put together what I wanted to do. So anyway, I'm going to share with you some of the good things, some of the bad things that I learned about that build. And, you know, that way you can actually see the bike as well. But yeah, I think it's going to be informative. So just stick by and, you know, we'll talk about the bike. Alright guys, so here is my Trek Madone 4. Now, as I had mentioned, I picked this bike up, actually I picked the frame up at a tent sale at the Trek Bicycle Superstore here a couple of years ago, and I guess they had quite a few of them in stock, so I picked it up for like $400. It was a steal. You know, for full carbon fiber with warranty and all that, it was just a steal. So I decided when I saw that price, I decided I would make this an opportunity to do my first entire custom build of a road bike. And it was a learning experience. Now, Trek does sell this bike for about $2,700 as a retail package. They do a build up with Ultegra group set and Bontrager finish kit. But you know, I decided to do my own custom from the ground up. So there's just all kinds of interesting components on here. So just kind of going through some of it. We'll start from the top down. The top, I got a Sal Royale Seta seat. This is actually pretty comfortable. I like this seat. Very happy. I think it actually came on a different bike, but it's been a good seat. Very comfortable. My seat post is a carbon fiber, you know, just a cheaper Asian import. It's interesting. It's a good combination of flex but also stiffness because of the aerodynamic shape to it, and so I've really appreciated that. Coming forward, you'll see I tend to leave the steerer tube pretty long, and I do that so that it gets me up like in an endurance kind of riding position. And Forza stem on there, and then I have the carbon aero handlebars that again are more of a import. They're not name brand. I know they mimic exactly one of the brands that I've seen out there, but anyway, they're pretty comfortable. They add some good flex to the system. Going down here, we have the Tektro R741 brakes. Great brakes. These are a good combination between weight savings but also having good stopping power. I really like these brakes. I've used them on a couple of bikes now, and you know, they look kind of cool. They're very minimal. They're not big and ugly and obtrusive. I think they're a good, like I said, they're just a good value. They're a good overall brake. I've even used the Jaguar custom gold cables for brake and shifting. Now the bread and butter, the drivetrain, standard Shimano 105. I used a medium cage derailleur, but the cassette is actually a driven brand, which I think is part of Sunrace. And if I go in here, you can actually see the anodized red aluminum spacers. You know, the spider that holds it all together is anodized red, so that's kind of cool. Oops, sorry. But it's 11 to 32. Wanted to build it out for climbing. Now, as far as the wheels go, these are the Token C45A Hero wheel set. Now, these are very interesting wheels. If you look them up on the website, they have a, you know, kind of a marketing gimmick to them. And that's from the shape, the profile. Now, let me see if I can get you a good look on the profile. They're very straight this way, but they have a little ramp. Like they call it an aerodynamic edge that directs airflow out this way. I'm not sold on the aerodynamic effectiveness of this shape. And I'm not trying to knock the wheels at all. They're good wheels. They do have quirks though. One of them, one thing, let me point out, the hubs here, you can see that they are straight pull on the spokes. And the hubs surround the token Tyramic bearings, which is a combination of titanium and ceramic for precision and durability. So if you look that up, that's what they're referring to with the Tyramic bearings on the hubs. But one trick that I learned today in the rain is that if you look at the spokes, they actually go down inside the rim, which I think is going, and they leave these holes. Let me see if I can get a picture of that. Might be kind of hard to see, but they leave those holes for the spokes to go through. Well, it creates an interesting sound, kind of a whirring sound when you're hauling ass down a path. And as I learned today, if you get caught in the rain, the other thing is that wheel is going to fill up with water. And it creates kind of this squelching sound that I didn't know what was going on. And then I started thinking, wow, that's water getting cut in half by the spokes inside there as it was rotating around. So it was a very interesting concept. I've never had this bike out in the rain before. But, again, I'm not trying to knock these wheels. I think they're good wheels. They're very stiff. They're very performance oriented, but I don't know. I think a lot of it is kind of marketing. I'm not sold on the aerodynamic nature of them, and they do have their limitations. But overall, I think they're a good match for the bike. I'm not upset that I made the purchase or anything. But this bike, it's fast. The end goal of this is it's fast. I mean, this bike is Jimmy John's fast. Part of the trail that I was going down today, on my gravel bike, I've never been able to exceed like 27 miles an hour on that part of the trail. And, this bike, I was able to hit 31 today. So it's definitely, it has it has its purpose. And I tailored the geometry to get myself up and comfortable for long rides on the road. And so when I go on the club rides, this is the bike that I'm usually taking. And it's been a good performance. Really happy with the way it turned out.